Coming up, you're going to meet a talented fashion and band photographer who is also a filmmaker, as well as a former model, musician, and actress. And she's also the founder of a dating website for, get this, pets. That's right, for your pet. Joining me in the studio today is Ms. Monday, Ingrid Johannson Khoury. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and this is Extraordinary Women TV. Now, before you meet Ingrid, just to let you know, later in the interview, before we take a break, I'll have my regular Good to Know Minute when I ask my guests for their top success tip, and you'll hear Ingrid's. Well, Ingrid, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's great having you. Oh, it's great having you here. Now, you have a very eclectic background, and you began as a model. And somehow, in that world of modeling, you became interested in photography. So, take us back to
how that started.
How did it start?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, basically, I was really fortunate enough to travel, and I got to see the world as a model. I was asked to travel when I was 18, so I graduated high school, and then went to Europe. But I had been really keen and really interested in photography during high school, and so I went to Europe and I started modeling, and I spent about 2 years in front of the camera, and I realized I didn't bring a camera with me, but yet I was always around these beautiful models constantly, and on these gorgeous sets. I mean, I worked in Greece, Italy, Sweden, France, all around the world, and I realized I had so many beautiful friends and had met so many great photographers, but yet I wasn't using my craft that I had brewing inside me. And I knew that all through high school I had photographed so much and I wanted to shoot. So after being in Europe for 2 years, I kind of realized that, I want to start shooting again. I'm really missing it. So I would go to castings and say if I got the job or not. I would talk to photographers and say, hey, are you guys looking for an assistant, an intern? I can work on the weekends. I'm a model here. How can I get into this? So I started doing assisting for some photographers in Milan. And then I brought the photos of my girlfriends and some of my roommates, and I brought them to the agency that I was working for. And they kind of said, this is actually pretty good. And so why don't we start testing? And so I started doing photography that way. But then I realized living in Europe was great, but I spoke a little bit of Italian, but I didn't actually know how to start my own business. So, and I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I realized that I wasn't going to make any money, but at least I had learned the skills of being a model and now for doing photography there. So that's why I came back to Canada and started my business. And now I'm doing many things, as you know.
It's great. I mean, one of the things that's really, one of your projects I think is really interesting is band photo. Let's talk about that.
Okay, well, band photo is a really neat experience. I actually don't like necessarily being in front of the camera that much. Other than being a model, I enjoyed it, but I did really enjoy going behind the camera when I started doing photography. And my friend of mine, who's a filmmaker, who's now one of my producing partners in my sailing films, we can talk about later, but he asked me, I'm really interested in showcasing would you like to host this show? And I said, well, I don't know if I want to be hosting. I like being behind the camera. And he says, well, no, you should. You'd be perfect. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm still doing my craft, but I'm on camera. And I got to work with so many great bands. I shot a couple album covers, and we got to do some really neat sets. And it was a really fun project, actually. We only did 13 episodes. You can see it on Ox. I think there's still some reruns on there. If not, you can go on my website and see.
Well, I saw the Anna Sison piece that you did.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. Good fun.
Oh, yeah. Anna is a hoot. I love her.
She's been on the show.
Was she? Oh, yes.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought she said something she was going to be on the show. She and I had a great episode where we got to shoot an airplane hangar, and we got to go up in helicopter, and it was really cool, and yeah, so it was fun. Yeah. So she's cool.
And your sailing, I mean, your films are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I don't know of anybody else who makes sailing films.
Yeah, well, sailing films actually are very difficult to shoot. And the reason why they approached me to do the sailing films was because I come from a very heavy sailing background. My brother went to the Olympics twice for Canada. He's on the Canadian Olympic sailing team. My father's a sailing fanatic, and I grew up basically on a boat. So I have sea legs. I can function on water, and I have a skill to shoot and direct, and I know how to carry a camera. So a lot of films there isn't very many sailing films because it's very difficult to shoot on water. You need a crash boat. You need to shoot from helicopter. You're constantly moving a lot of this with waves. So it takes a lot of shooting to get really steady stuff. But I kind of fit the part because of my sailing background. And then also I thought it was really fun to get out there and then work with these extreme boats. And they're pretty rock and roll. So it was a neat experience. We shot 4 documentaries. 3 are actually on CBC right now. And one of them, actually might be out when this comes out on TV. I think it might be on air. We're negotiating a deal for our last film, The Transpac, which is a really cool race.
Now, you have this really, really interesting website that you've launched that helps, pets.
It's called matchmakerpet.com. Right. We started the site, the idea came about 3.5 years ago when I brought I have a teacup Chihuahua. I was going to bring her today, but I wasn't sure if I could bring her on the show. But we decided we wanted to breed her. And we realized there wasn't a big market for breeding, and it was really hard to find anyone that wanted to breed with our dog. So we decided that we thought, well, why don't we come up with some kind of, there should be something like this online. So that's how we started Matchmaker Pet. Now it started like that, and now we did actually breed her through the site, and then technically we realized that we weren't just catering to breeders. We realized there was a huge market out there for all pet lovers, and we have on their play dates, we have their adoption services. People can buy and sell pets on our site. We've now expanded, and we're going to be launching a new department for the site this summer. And there's going to be dog walking services. There's going to be pet hotel information. It's like a social media site for pet owners. So, and it's like a Facebook for pets.
And so you've got another organization that you've, Pets Aid?
Yes.
You're launching?
So now we've launched a company called it's a petsaid.org, and it's a non-for-profit, 100% all the funds go to Pets Aid, which is basically once a year we're going to donate all the money that we raise in the organization to charity to help any animal that's in need or raise awareness. And we're going to pick different charities each year and donate the money.
Where would people go to find out more about the Matchmaker Pet?
Yeah. We have our website, which is www.matchmakerpet.com, or you can go to www.petsaid.org. But the most important, the big one is the matchmakerpet.com. So, and it's 100% free. So, and it's for anyone to use. Actually, one of the most interesting member to date is a llama.
I saw that.
Llama. Yes.
You've got a llama on your site.
I know we do. I was kind of like, is this for real? But then I realized, there's people out there that own llamas. And then we also have a Bengal. Like, we have so many different interesting. We have a bird. We have I
noticed a category there's a forum for cats, dogs, and birds.
Yeah.
Owners, of course.
So,
the birds don't go on and talk, but the owners do.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So it's been growing, and we started off with just one member, which is me, and now we're up at around 350 members, and we're just growing. We're relaunching the site this summer, and we have now, like, the new site is going to be like the one that's up there now is good, but it's even more interactive and way more easy to use. It's going to be great.
So what's next for you?
I have a feature film that I'm working on, but I'm working on so many things. I'm really fortunate because I started my career off really young as an entrepreneur, and I realized that I have a lot of time dedicated towards all these projects that I'm working on, and I have an idea. I'm like, I got to do it. So about 7 years ago, when I started getting into, right before I started doing my sailing documentaries, I started writing a feature film. It's a horror comedy, and it took a long time to get where it is from there to now, because I got distracted doing my sailing documentaries, and there's so many other things like band photo. But now that that's kind of on its side, I've dedicated the last 6 months towards my feature film. I can't talk too much about it, but because it's a horror comedy, and we're teaming up with the writers of Saw, which is kind of interesting. So if you're a horror fan, you'll probably like it.
Intriguing.
Yes. Maybe my mom will like it, or my dad, but they love the sailing stuff. So, but I'm really excited, and we have some really cool people involved. So crossing your fingers, and if it all goes as planned, we're going to be shooting this summer. So, yeah.
Well, you're busy.
Yes, I am.
Well, Ingrid, I've really enjoyed this time with you, and hearing about your projects, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with your film, and I wish you all the best with all that you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed being on the show, so thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Ingrid, we're just going to take a break, and that means it's my good to know minute, and I know you've got a great success tip, so jump in there.
Well, my success tip today would be to stay organized, and just to do a to-do list. It's really important to be focused and to know what you need to accomplish, because if not, it can take longer. So my success tip would be to organize your thoughts and put them down on paper, and it will help you focus and help you get to the next step.
Well, that's good to know, and thanks for that. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more on Extraordinary Women TV. So stay where you are.